what else to call this. Box with hole. So calculate the surface area and then the volume. I'm guessing volume would be easier. So let's start with that. It would be volume of box minus volume of cylinder. And maybe, right, you can make a little bit of a note to yourself, right, that it's 12 inches, like the hole goes from the front to the back, okay, and that the radius is 7.5. Those things I would recommend you do it right on the diagram. So volume of the box is just length times width times height minus pi r squared times h. Should I distinguish between the h's? I think you can probably be careful enough and not, but you got to make sure you don't think they're the same height. This height refers to this, whereas this height refers to the height of the box, right? So be careful. So I'll just go length times width times height minus pi radius squared, and there's the 12. Okay, so let me see here. It's 9,000 on the money there, and minus 2,120,575 something. So the total volume is 6,879.42 cubic inches. So I would say, simply put, I would give you 1 mark for this part where you show me that you've entered everything correctly, and 1 mark for actually computing it and getting the final answer. Surface area. This one is tricky. Well, I think, I at least think. I would say I would go surface area of the box minus 2 circles, because remember, these circles are not there. Like they've been, like somebody drilled through, and so if you do the whole box without saying, well, I got to get rid of the circles, you're double counting. Plus, I'm going to go lateral surface area of the cylinder, so that the actual lateral surface area of the cylinder goes all the way through. So that is exposed. Okay, so that I need to add. So that's there. So surface area of the box is, do I need to write it out? I will just go with this. 12 length times width, right? So 12 times 20 plus 2 times length times the height plus 2 times width times the height. So the height should always show up twice in your formula, right? Like that's one thing to check for. Minus 2 pi, it's not just r squared, it's 2 pi r squared because there's 2 circles, and the radius is 7.5 squared, plus lateral surface of the is 2 pi r h, and by the h I mean the height of the cylinder itself, like that. So I would say this. You get 1 mark for having the correct entries for the box, and then obviously 1 mark for accounting for these 2 circles. So if you missed it, you lose a mark, okay? Plus 2, the lateral surface area, also 1 mark for that. So 3 marks already associated with that. And I think the box is 2880. I'm fairly certain. My key's a little fudged there. 353.429 something, because remember our calculator can deal with all the decimals, so just do this in chunks. Some of you are very tempted to just the whole thing in one shot. If you're off by even 1, like we don't know what happened. This is much easier to fix something if we need to go upstream, right? Plus this part right here, 565, yeah, 486. 565 486 and something, and then I crunch that, and I get 3092.06, and we are in inches, so that'd be squared inches. So this is A, and this part here was B up there. So another mark here for the final answer because you're crunching it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for that part. If I'm willing to bet, I'm willing to bet that some of you forgot about this, like taking away the circles. And some of you might have been like, well, Mr. Dirksen, I'm not including the circles because look, I'm just doing the lateral surface area of the cylinder. Good that you didn't include them here, but you still need to subtract them because they're not there. So you have to omit them here and subtract them as well. Yeah. -1. So are you talking about this part? This? The height here? So you put this one here, 37.5? Yeah, just lose this mark here, but you would still get this one here, provided that you show me how you did the work. So you would lose the mark for this part. Try me. This here? Minus the surface area of the whole cylinder? Minus. I will have to see that one. I'm trying to think. I don't know how that. Sometimes it just works by fluke, and sometimes I have a feeling that's going to be right. But let me look at that later. Okay. See, the shape needs to be painted with 3 coats for proper coverage. 1 can of latex paint covers 5 square feet and costs $41.99 plus tax. Calculate the cost of the paint. It is a paint, right? So it kind of is fitting after tax. So you need to go like this. 3 times whatever you got up here. And that would give you 9276.18 squared inches. And what's the problem? The problem is that my paint comes in square feet, right? So, or covers, it's given to me in square feet. So I will say that 1 square foot has 144 squared inches. Cancel, cancel. So it's basically this divided by 144. That's 64.4179 something square feet. Don't round just yet. When you're about to purchase, that's when, what am I buying them in? I'm buying them in cans, correct? That cost this much. So cans are 64.4179 something square feet divided by 5 square feet. You're wondering how many 5 square feet go in there, how many cans? That would be 12.883 something, and now you can round. That's approximately 13 cans that you need to buy. Hold your horses, right, Mr. Dirksen? Like, hold it. 1 mark for multiplying by 3. 1 mark for converting. Appropriate, right? 1 mark. I'm just going to say the whole thing here, 1 mark for dividing and rounding. So if you didn't round, then you just take off half a mark. So 1 mark for dividing and then rounding. So that's 1, 2, 3 already. And here's the cost. 13 cans. Obviously this would be different if you got a different answer. That's okay. Times $41.99 times 1.12. that would be 611.37. That's another mark. So obviously the total is going to change here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we just doubled. The province used to do a lot of halves, and now they actually go full marks. So it just makes the exam look bigger, but it's really just because they got rid of the halves. It's just a lot of things are worth a full mark. So we are at 4 and 2, that's 6, plus 4 is 10. So this page is 10. Is it just a one-pager? Oh no, there's more goodness back there. Let's go to the back. So it's going to be somewhat challenging to add this up, I get it. If you're in doubt, just give yourselves a higher mark than, right? Like that. Right now I'm just about you learning, not so much about getting it exactly right. Mr. Erickson would like to build a spherical fire pit with a volume of at most 12.5 cubic feet. Determine the maximum radius the fire pit could have. Oh, this one is pretty, it's a copy, right? This is what, 4 pi radius cubed divided by 3, right? Because it's a sphere, it's a whole sphere. So we multiply by 3. That gives us, we cancel out here, that gives us 37.5. And that's 4 pi r cubed. Divide everything by 4 pi. A good note here. Make sure if there's an operation in the denominator, make sure you put that in brackets or else you're going to get it wrong. The calculator will only divide by the first number and then multiply your whole answer by pi if you type this all in one shot without the brackets. And so cube root of that, I'm just going to assume that we're going to enter this all in one shot. If you do that, you get 1.44 feet. Yeah. Question? Okay. Everybody, if you need a calculator, how to type this into your calculator, I'll do that, okay? Front. So the way I would do this is I would go 37.5 divided by, if you go like this, it's going to be wrong, okay? You got to go 37.5 divided by 4 pi like that. And then cube root, hold on, math, 4, copy, paste, boom. There you go, 1.44. All right, almost there, and then it's you time. A rectangular bedroom with dimensions of 20.5 by 14 feet is being repainted. There's an entrance door, right? That's important. A closet door. The doors are not going to be repainted, so that's the key there. 2 windows that measure 36 inches by 48 inches. The walls are 9 feet tall, so that's the height of the room, right? Each can of paint covers 200 square feet and costs $34.99. How much will it cost to repaint the walls of the room? Just the walls, not the ceiling. No ceiling and no floor. I hope you know that one, right? No floor. I will figure this out. Surface area of room. Guys, you're following, right? Surface area of room. Watch this. I will do this just for your own benefit here. This part is gone because we don't want the floor, nor do we want the ceiling. So you completely get rid of it. If you wanted the ceiling, then you would just get rid of the 2 and just go length times width, right? That's like the ceiling, the top of the room. But these are the walls right here. And you know, because both of these expressions have a height. So that's the walls around the room. So let's figure that out. That'd be 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. If you do that correctly, which you can type that in one shot, you get, I don't have just the room. I should have done that. Anybody have that, just the room? Or did you do it, maybe you subtracted right away, so I'll just do that with you. $621. I'll give you a mark for that one. Okay. Then we're going to go surface area to be painted. I go 621 minus the 2 doors, so there's a 5 by 8. 5 by 8 minus, there's a closet door, 3 by 7, minus there are 2 windows. 2 windows, and here I go again, I have to mess it up for you guys, right? It's in inches. What's the trick? If it's in inches, just go divide it by 12, right? So that's 3 feet, and 48 inches divided by 12, that's 4 feet. So I made it fairly easy for you to convert. So it's two windows that measure 3 by 4. And if you were with me in grade 11 applied, we've done this, okay? So we've got to subtract all the things that are not to be painted. So that would amount to 536 minus 40 minus 21 minus 24. So that's 536 square feet. I'll give you another mark for that, for actually subtracting all the items that should not be painted. This is to be the paintable surface around that room. Now, cost. We need to figure out how many coats. So 3 coats times 536. Okay. 3 times 536 would be 1,072. Did I say 2 coats or 3 coats? Why did I say 3 coats? Sorry, guys. 2 coats. 2 coats is 1,072 square feet to be painted. Okay. Guys, if you don't want to pay attention, that's fine, but just be quiet, okay? You do you, but just be quiet. 1,072 to be painted. Please don't do the number of coats at the end. Some of you find number of cans and then multiply it. That is wrong. You want to multiply that right away, and then it's almost like painting 2 rooms. So here we have it. Cans is 1,072 divided by 200, and that's 5.36, which is approximately 6 cans that I need to buy. Okay. So cost. Oh, let's do the marks here. I will say this. I'll give you half a mark for the coats, and then we'll give you a mark for figuring out how many cans, so that means dividing and rounding. And here we have the cost. 6 cans times $34.99. Does it say plus tax? Yeah, plus 1.12. So 6 times all of that gives you 611. No, sorry, looking at the wrong. 235.13. 235.13. Okay, that is my final marks. We're gonna make this worth 1 here, and let's go back to the number of coats. I'm gonna make that worth 1. I don't like halves. Okay, at the end, the total. So the number of coats also gets a 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this whole thing, if I added up correctly is 5. Okay? So that makes this backside 5 and 2, right? For this part it's 2. 5 and 2 is 7. So the back page of this thing is 7. And the front is 10. So the total is 17. Okay?